really be. Y'all really handle real cases.
We handle probably over 1,000 murders.
So they bring them to y'all, or y'all solicit them? How that works?
You mean that for the show? Or for
for the show.
So when our first season was all our shows, our first show. This one is we have other detectives that we find around the country.
Right, bring out stories.
So season 1 was a couple that we knew.
And these detectives are brothers and sisters. You know, they have stories. Places like Bessemer, Alabama, where they're working hard, like a New York City or an Atlanta police officer.
Valdosta, Georgia.
It's like putting a puzzle together.
And
I'm sure when you get the person that evidence is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
We spent a week in Shreveport. I wish we could have gotten into that because that town needs a hug. And 50 is there.
50 is there now.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah. 50 is there. You can see it on the billboards. He's getting ready to be the Tyler Perry of Shreveport, Louisiana. You can see it. Those people need something.
Right.
There's some really good people on the ground trying to save these young black men.
You know what's cool about these little town detectives is that we learned a lot because we're thinking we're gonna look at these cases that they solved and it was easy, right? It was like the dude, everybody knew the dude was a small town. These cases were, some of them were more complex than the ones we did in the big city of Atlanta, and we were so impressed with the amount of work that these guys did and these ladies did. Like, we were like, even stuff that we didn't think about. I'm like, damn, that was good.
Homicide's easy if you love your community. Like, we loved Atlanta. Like, it was crazy. We were young in this game because we were in our mid-30s when we came to Homicide. And we, it was crazy. We would deputize family members to hit the ground. Like, if I got a uncle who's out there and he's getting served by, certain sex worker regular in that neighborhood, I said, I need you, if you out there doing that anyway, I need you to, ask her what's up, you know what I mean? And that stuff doesn't go on paper, but it gives you a jumping off spot. Where you headed with this investigation?
You know what else I wanted to ask? Like, how do y'all feel about how detectives are portrayed on TV shows and movies? Like, is it an accurate depiction?
The Wire was the most accurate. I mean,
was it?
Unparalleled.
I've heard that before. I've heard that The Wire was extremely accurate on both sides of it.
Kind of, sort of, right?
The Wire and the criminal side.
There was another show on HBO, I guess it was like 2016, called The Night Of. That, if you ever get a chance to watch that, Michael K. Williams, he did this before he died. That was the most honest depiction of like a homicide investigation I'd ever seen. Because the homicide guy had the wrong person. That's part of it. You can get the wrong person, but if everybody works hard.
That's what I'm saying. We needed a 2-part interview for this.
I know.
I was just
we live in a neighborhood.
I'm right down the street.
Get it wrong,
so you can get it wrong while working the case. It's all about not pulling that trigger.
Yeah.
A lot of jokers will pull that trigger early, which is it just won't help you. You gotta wait. Remember the time we had a guy who there was more evidence on him than it was on the killer.
We would bring him in for
I mean,
and let him go.
This joker, just give you a quick. He broke into the dead girl's house after she's dead in the freezer down the morgue. Tore her house up. Right, exactly. Tore her house up. Tore up her answer
DNA
machine.
on everything, basically.
He's leaving DNA everywhere. He's threatening her on her job. He's calling, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you." Wasn't him.
Oh, wait a minute. He goes out on a date. He jumps out of the bushes like on TV, jumps on the hood of the car.
Right,
reversing. And he's like, who the fuck is this dude? He's like stalking her.
It was more evidence on him, but this was like in 2003. So phone records weren't a thing yet. And I was like, because he started doing phone records for anybody in the department. And I was like, I got everything I need. I got all this evidence. He stole every one of her high heel pumps. Yeah. Like he had 40 pumps in his house when he broke in her house because he was crazy because he didn't want her out and he thought she was a stripper when in fact she was a prostitute. But anyway, what I'm saying is I had more evidence. I had more evidence on. We had more evidence on him than the real guy. But I was like, man, let's try this phone record thing. We get on the floor with these phone records in 2003, looking at cell towers.
Y'all were looking at paper records.
This was back in 2003.
Yeah.
Cell phone technology was in its infancy.
Yeah.
And we're down there on the floor with rulers and straight edges trying to see what his brother was. He just happened to be in North Carolina. I mean, he did so many other damning things to make himself guilty.
And the real killer had her purse hidden behind the heater.
Yeah. I went to the real killer. It was like months later. I go to the house, and the mother said when she was found dead, her purse. We bought these purses together online, and if you find this purse, that's gonna be the killer. And I go to this guy's apartment, middle of the night, pick him up. And I go into the boiler area where your heating and air systems are in this raggedy apartment. And for whatever reason, I just went underneath the heating element on the boiler, and I pulled out her purse, and it had like one speck of her blood.
Why do criminals keep stuff?
Souvenir.
Because they replayed. That reminds them of what they did.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think most people that kill somebody, because to me that's always fascinating that you could do that, are there more, do you run into more people who are kind of sociopaths that have no feeling about it, or people that snapped, did it,
most
and
of these
then
murders are accident. He's an assault for somebody.
Or it's a robbery that went bad. Like, we always tell you, if you get robbed, do not run.
Right.
Like, you gonna listen, you rob me, you getting everything.
Right.
The only thing I'm not doing is going with you.
That's always been my
100%. But the people that get shot,
anyway.
the people that run, they get shot because they're like, the robber
finger on
thinks
the
like,
trigger.
you don't think I'm serious?
Right.
I'm serious. Like, boom, and
Or
they
if
get
you
shot in the
buck,
back.
see on the street, when you learn from these jokers, they say if somebody bucks, that's like a pass, like in the game. Like if somebody bucks because you got this much pressure on the finger, and if you buck or make them confused, 5 pounds of pressure,
Right.
and it's always trained right on you, so you're getting that kill shot.
But then you got
A lot
like
of
the
them are
domestic
accidents.
ones, like the husband, the wife kills the husband, husband kills the wife.
But those are situations where people just kind of snap in the moment.
Right. And
But
then
I'm
they try to
saying-
hide stuff.
But I'm saying that type of person, because I've known somebody who killed somebody before. I knew a guy back in my past who actually had murdered somebody, and he had no feeling about it whatsoever.
A lot of people
It was very matter of fact to him. It was very like, I had to leave a dude where I found him, like last week, and I came to Atlanta just to chill for a couple of weeks he was from New Orleans, and he was literally a killer. And I'm like, damn, you talking about this like you just beat somebody in checkers.
If you're killing for fun, you're a sociopath.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Or psychopath. Either one of
Or
them.
if you're just so dialed into the game, you can reconcile the killing of somebody. If you're like, since you're 4 years old, you've been getting taught game by uncle.
I'm saying, have y'all come across people like that? And how
Oh,
do
man,
you
we've had
sit across from somebody who's just like...
Well, I've had 4 serial killing cases in my... Most detectives don't get any. I had 4 serial killers in the city.
I had one.
And literally had one...
More than 3 people? More than 4 people?
Yeah, more than 3. I had one guy literally reach across the table, grab my arm, and said, and I was like, oh shit, I'm about to die. So he reached over and grabbed my forearms and said, pray with me, detective. I said, oh shit. I said, Lord, please give me the ability to help this man tell the truth. I mean, he can't really pray. Huh? He killed a bunch of women. But dude's a real big dude, and he grabbed me by my forearms, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to freak out of here. I still got to maintain some type of... I still need to get him to tell me what he did.
Y'all had asked you had asked that question about the feelings. Do y'all get the
How do you
feelings?
keep from getting emotionally involved?
But they taught us in journalism school, that's just like a journalist.
It is.
You gotta read the story, bitch, and you wanna cry, but you better not cry.
Yeah.
It's the same way what they have to do. They can't get
You gotta
attached.
put that somewhere.
Quick question: what's the scariest thing you've seen, or like craziest thing you've graphic?
We pulled my man's body parts out of a hole as I'm handing legs to my partner here.
Yeah.
Finally, a week later, we found the head 20 miles away.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like y'all say,
literally,
y'all
like-
loved every day of it. Like I'm like,
But it was so interesting, the 2 young cats. Now he'd been out in the world. Vince had been like to the military. He'd seen the world. I hadn't been anywhere but here.
Yeah.
So we kind of kept each other grounded. I was totally immersed in this shit from like age 20.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like what you do.
Well, we were meant for homicide. This is 100%.
Yeah,
We were meant to be partners.
You
That's
got
why I
another
said we
school?
never. So we go to homicide schools while we're on the department.